All right, we'll do it like live, where I'll send you a picture.
Yeah, send me a picture. Today I learned that apparently fucking South America has pyramids, I guess. Stepped pyramids, apparently. They're called.
'Cause I was describing a shape as a ziggurat, and he's like, "What the heck?" Okay, so here's a ziggurat, and then
Taylor's sending me live
I'm
pictures
gonna
of a
look,
ziggurat.
and then here's a Mesoamerican pyramid. Oh wow, the picture was way too big. You got one that's. Hold on.
Oh my god, I forgot to turn my phone off. Shut up.
Nanomachine, son.
Data machine, son.
There was something we were talking about the other day where it was the perfect timing for that.
Oh yeah,
It was like a Monkey D. Luffy situation where it's like he's made of rubber. How did that happen? Nanomachine, son.
Data machine, so yeah, it was something like that. Oh man, it was so funny. Yo,
I think we mentioned this a while back, but I once had a teacher's aide who had her notification sound on her phone, because this is back when like custom notification sounds were the new hotness, and it was her notification sound was "I got no phone." that clip of that insurance commercial.
I got no phone.
I got
that's
no
funny.
phone because I'm a pothole. So okay, bye.
It's okay, bye. Hold on, did you send me the fucking pictures? I need to look at them.
On Discord, yeah.
No, that's a ziggurat. Yeah, no, we were talking about Scott Pilgrim and Taylor mentioned ziggurats.
I didn't see the movie, and Lou Jack, meanwhile, he's seen the movie. He's read the
I've read the comics.
He's watching the show.
I watched the
He's
show.
played the game.
I'm gonna play the game.
Original street performance.
I saw the
in Japan in 1954.
Yeah, I'm really over here having like a Scott Pilgrim fever for like no fucking reason. Just all of a sudden I was like, oh, Scott Pilgrim's pretty cool and he's got a show now. I guess I'll read the comic book first.
Jack, my jokes are like when you have a comically specific like costume at a party that like one person at the party recognizes, but it makes their whole day.
Your jokes are sometimes just like actually a World Doctor's bit.
So like in that case, it was like, oh hey yeah, we're watching Scott Pilgrim, and just like, oh yeah, I saw the original the street performance in Japan in like the 1950s. What are you talking about? And there's like one person who's like, oh, is that a Golden Bat reference?
Is that a Golden Bat reference? I know Golden Bat.
I told you like 10 minutes ago. I was streaming. I shouted it at you. I guess I could. Oh, speaking of being quieter, let me make sure that our audio's working.
Oh yeah, that's probably a good idea. OBS says it's working, but we should make sure the volumes are all copaesthetical.
But yeah,
I don't even know what the fuck that word means.
I know that copacetic was the thing that means like everything's all right. But hold on, I gotta look this up because I need to know now. I love etymology. Copacetic, North American informal, meaning in excellent order.
Oh. Anyway, yeah, hi everyone, welcome back to Phoenix Wright. We're the Peopleorians. I'm Lou Jack, that's Taylor.
Hey, it's Lou Jack, I'm Taylor, it's copacetic, and I was trying to find what the
Oh shit, the dialogue's going. It's been 15 years now. Fucking missed that. 15 years is a long time to wait. You can't imagine how much I've suffered. I didn't think it was just gonna start auto-scrolling dialogue.
Oh no.
You've suffered. You've suffered, but now the perfect opportunity has presented itself. At last,
this is good news. This
I
means
shall
we're
have
ahead
my
of
revenge.
Because one of my things I was hoping. This means we're actually ahead of schedule.
Merry Christmas. Hold on, it's still
Oh no,
this is
he
the
reduced my
Christmas
sprite
episode.
opacity to 0.
Let me be clear, it disappears. Miles Edgeworth, vampire man. I
Now
mean,
everyone in
you gotta look at this man
the
and tell me he's
comments.
not a vampire.
Yeah, well, that's why that gun has a huge barrel on it. Everyone, everyone in the comments just waiting for me to comment on the gun. But that's why it has a huge barrel. Clearly, it uses those like fat 40 millimeter grenade bullets, but it uses like the piston type, and then it fires a stake.
Yeah, as you do.
Custom tool to kill vampires.
Fires a stake, some kind of Abraham Lincoln weapon.
Speaking of which, going back to copacetic, I looked this up. There was a Stefan Granson says there's a good reason to think that Irving Bachelor invented the word invented the word with the spelling copacetic with an S for a fictional character with a private library in his best-selling and later serialized 1919 book about Abraham Lincoln in Illinois, titled "A Man for the Ages."
Oh.
Like, I thought copacetic was at earliest 1920s, but that's kind of funny that it's like a 1919 book, but the book itself is set in like Abraham Lincoln era.
Yeah. Yo, I went to a fucking midnight premiere of Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter with one of our friends from high school. Like back when it came out originally.
I think I saw it like right before it left theaters. Like, so I didn't see it like right when it came out, but
I actually remember enjoying that movie. I thought it was a good time.
You know, I saw it and I was like, yeah, all right. Like, because on one hand, I'm like, okay, well, this is a little goofy, but that's also why I liked it. Is that like,
yeah, it feels like
this isn't just a vampire movie that doesn't have a sense of time and place. It's not a biopic. It's just what if Abraham Lincoln was a vampire hunter, and like the key to killing vampires was honesty, and and so he has to be like true to himself to kill vampires. But it also means because what's the word? Basically, he learns the Sanji. Dang it, I got the wrong
Sanji.
One Piece character. Not Sanji. He learns the Zolo Zoro technique for cutting through anything, but instead of like.
I love that you know that reference. Like, it makes me so happy every time you bring that up.
I love it's very good, but here's the thing is that like he learned the ensorcel weapon with armor piercing, which works against vampires, but the limitation on it is that he has to have the honesty disadvantage, so he always has to be honest, which of course like truthful by the word, which is very tricky to do because he's secretly hunting vampires, so he has to be very careful about what he says, and yeah. I thought that was kind of a neat premise.
Yeah, it was a fun twist. Though
I have no idea how, when that movie came out, they managed to get the vampires and multiple vampires and a vampire hunter fighting on top of horses during a stampede. Because that looked very technical in a way that I just imagine the pitch for that scene. They must have been like, "Oh, we're gonna have to spend so much of the budget on this."
That movie, it feels like a DLC that would exist in like an Assassin's Creed game. Like, you know how Infamous had that like vampire DLC where they were like, "Well, what if vampires?" It feels like that, but also you're Abraham Lincoln, but in an Assassin's Creed game.
That's my new pitch for like Assassin's Creed games. Is I want, you know how they always get a little bit more interesting as they start
really
to
do the Ghost of Tsushima thing where they like
all the cool stuff is stuff that didn't actually happen.
Yeah, all the cool stuff is stuff that didn't actually happen. Even though, like, the gods actually exist, we're still just going to insist that none of the cool shit happened, even though we firmly established that gods are real and made us.
I thought you were still talking about Ghost of Tsushima, and I was like, hey, wait a minute, I keep getting, if, what's the word, if, like, if the Kappas can't be real, and the ghosts can't be real, and Onis aren't real, then how do I keep leveling up?
Yeah, how do you keep... Does Assassin's Creed start to lean more into its mythology by, like, the time it gets to Odyssey? Like, will Odyssey have actual Greek, cool Greek
Odyssey
shit?
Is perfect.
Or...
I'm so glad you asked. See, Odyssey, you might want to hit the button, though. Odyssey
oh yeah, December 25th, 10:08
a.m. that they mention, and you know how I'm the kind of nerd who will, like, go and check all of the, like, emails on a character's computer to see, like, if there's more lore there.
Yeah.
And with Assassin's Creed, there usually is. Well, with Assassin's Creed, there usually is, and what was their name? The same, basically in Odyssey, I think the person who's studying the stuff is, I recall, it's been a while, but is either the same person or is working on building upon the work of the lady who made the portable Animus in Origins.
Right.
And they mentioned that, like, with going back to, like, whatever 100 BC, we've never gone this far back before. So like, there's only what is it, like an 85 point something percent accuracy chance with synergizing.
Right.
Which basically is just enough leniency for the game to be like, hey, if you find, like, a giant snake skeleton, like a snake that's, like, the size of, like, a titanoboa or whatever, or you find, like, the club of Hercules, just don't worry about it.
That's awesome.
Just don't worry about it. And, like, and there's a handful of mythical creatures. The thing is, I never beat that game because, despite being an Assassin's Creed game and me wanting to finish it, it was just so wide, and, like, if you make a game no game should be made that wide.
Man,
it has too many things. They should have made the map half the size. With twice as much effort into the actual, like, character moments.
I got, like, way overly ambitious when I got all of the Assassin's Creed games. You know how I could, like, binge through the entire Metal Gear Solid franchise in, like, a sitting and not even worry about it? I thought to myself...
You're pretty good.
Hey, yeah, I'm pretty good. I thought to myself, hey, you know what's a great series? Assassin's Creed, and I haven't played a good Assassin's Creed game in a while, and I want to play all of the Assassin's Creed games, so what if I got all of the Assassin's Creed games and just tried to, like, I don't know, marathon them? But I won't start all the way from the beginning. I'm just gonna start off where I left off, and I never got around to finishing Black Flag. So I started with Black Flag, and then I got up to Origins, and by the time I got to Origins, I was like, hey, there's another really cool game that's really cool and interesting. And I'd, like, started Origins before getting distracted by a different game. I played Origins just long enough to be like, oh, running is just auto now. So we've abandoned stealth, I guess. Cool?
It's still,
alright. Weird choice.
With me. There's something so wild about, like, there's some kind of, like, brainworms that, like, studio executives must have, or publishers or whatever, where they're like, oh yeah, Assassin's Creed is, like, our biggest selling point, but they don't see that a game is popular and well loved and, you know, purchased. They don't see the connection between that the game is good and that it made money. So they'll be like, you know, it'd be even better if we made Assassin's Creed more like, I don't know, Destiny or something. Like, give it like an RPG, a bunch of slots and stuff.
Give
make
it
a whole
some kind of loot system or something. Do they have a loot system in Assassin's Creed now?
Sort of. Origins and Odyssey, and I don't know about Valhalla, but I think I've seen the menu. And that's like the thing I dread nowadays is like, I think I had a joke about it in, I think it was A Way Out, when I was like, man, this game keeps going, this game no, it wasn't A Way Out. It was It Takes Two, where like that game was a little long. I think it could have been trimmed down a little bit, but it was still like fun because of all the mechanics.
It Takes Two was fucking great.
Yeah, because it kept introducing things, though, it didn't get boring. Because it would introduce different like platforming and puzzles and that sort of thing. And I remember being like having like a brain blast where I was just like, Blue Jack, oh no. I just thought of something extremely cursed. Imagine you get this, like, you get through the first act of the game, and they're like, all right, and here are the factions, and here's the crafting system, and you got to gather these things. And then here's the RPG elements, so you can get 2% more fire damage.
I feel like they would do that as a gag. I feel like that would be a throwaway gag, and that would be really funny.
It would be, well, I can see it. Now I'm imagining, like, an indie game that does that as a gag. What's the word? Burn the Rope? Was it Burn the Rope? Where you have, like, a throwing attack where you throw a battle axe, but there are no enemies that are affected by the battle axe. And when you get to the rope, the battle axe doesn't work, so you have to burn it.
Oh, of course.
So it's not even, it doesn't do anything in the game. Which, like, I'm okay with adding things that don't do anything in a game if the act of doing that itself is, like, really is fun.
Yeah.
For instance, like, I'm sure there's a mechanic behind closing the gate manually in Papers, Please, but it's also really funny when, like, a different guard, like, walks up and he goes, right when he's about to talk to you, you close the blinds and he has to talk to you through the blind. Like, it's just accidentally funny. It's really funny.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, if you're a game dev out there, please don't make more games that just have the Destiny menu screen like every other game. Like, if your game is gonna be good, even your game will be good if they have their own identity.
Yeah, you know, like, I love a good looter shooter, but I love a good looter shooter when it's like Borderlands or something, not when it's like an Assassin's Creed game.
And I told Blue Jack that, like, in a fascinating turn of events, like, so many games have lost their identity and not had good additions, like, recently, that there's kind of an open field where, like, you wouldn't have the same brand recognition as Assassin's Creed, but if you made a game that was like pseudo-archaeological, pseudo-historical, but with like time travel shenanigans or looking into the past, that sort of thing, with like stealth mechanics, it would be really good, and people would be like, a spiritual successor. Like, this is so perfect. You know, it's like how everyone wants another like Splinter Cell game.
Yeah. You gotta read your line.
Hey, Nick. Although, amusingly enough, I wasn't, when I told Blue Jack about that, the genre I was originally talking about was, like, open worlds, action-y adventure, not action-adventure, but open world, like, action drama games, like your Grand Theft Autos, or, Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption, that sort of thing, where it's like, oh yeah, we haven't had one of those in a while.
Man, Micah Bell is, like, on that list of... It would be on a list of, like, top 10 times where revenge was great, actually. It'd be like, number 5, that one guy from A Way Out when you got to shoot him and he fell out the window. Number 2, Micah Bell from Red Dead 2 when you got to kill him as John Marston and the other 2 characters, Sadie and Charles. Like, man, what a fucking... What a great moment that was. Be like, number 3 would be like GTA 5 Option C or something.
I was gonna be like The Last of Us 2, but as a joke, because 1, it's a story about revenge that shows the uselessness of a revenge, but 2, that the biggest irony of The Last of Us 2 is that it sets up like various background characters who are like, oh, these people are kind of evil, but then like you never see them again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, hold on, you can't just give me a Far Cry boss or like a Assassin's Creed Templar character and then just leave that scene.
Yeah, nope, they're gone now. We're dealing with other stuff now.
There's no time for that.
There's no time for that. Never mind all that. Anyway.
It definitely feels weird in a game that's like 4 acts, because if it's a big chonky game, somehow you always end up with stuff that didn't make it in the game.
Yeah, I still fucking love Last of Us 2, though. I love both the Last of Us games. Here's my question for you,
They're so good.
What?
Here's my question. Do you know if there's any good waterfalls around here?
That is not a question. That is not a question I feel like I've ever heard before. Like I don't think I've ever heard anyone come up and say, do you know if there's any good waterfalls around here?
For someone to ask me that, I would assume that they got like reverse isekai, and that was like the way they saved their game.
I would just kind of look around at the multiple mountain ranges around our city and be like, we're in a desert.
Be like, we don't have much water, let alone water that falls.
Yeah, we don't have enough water for it to fall here.
The closest we got is standing under a roof when it rains.
Which is nice. One of the weird perks to rainy days when you're inside home. Waterfalls? Dare I ask why?
Duh, Nick, isn't it obvious? I can train to raise my body temperature. Oh, wait a minute, that is what she's saying.
Oh, wait, what? Okay.
I need a waterfall to stand under, preferably a freezing one. So it's gotta be a snow melt waterfall.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, is that part of your spirit medium training?
Of course, except I've been slacking off lately. Need to brave the elements, be forged anew under the rushing spring waters.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know about any falls per se, but Gourd Lake is pretty close.
Oh my gourd.
Oh my gourd.
Darn.
Gourd, Sora? We gotta stop.
One day we will figure out what the heck Kingdom Hearts is.
We gotta stop Zamdis, Sora. We gotta find the door to darkness.
Someone here explain what Kingdom Hearts is, and then it's just like Season 1 Sakura pulling down the diagram, like the whiteboard thing or whatever. I
was thinking like the Always Sunny meme, where it's like the guy in front of the whiteboard, or with it's like me explaining the plot of Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, are you talking about that GIF where the guy is like scribbling a bunch of stuff onto a whiteboard, but it's fast forwarded?
Yeah. He's like on some conspiracy theory rant or something.
You tell me that the nobodies don't have hearts and the heartless have no body?
Yeah, weird, right?
How was that just a translation issue where they like?
I don't know.
Is this the Panda Baba situation where it's like, oh no, you cut off my hand. Why does your hand look different than the rest of your species? What? Well, why do you have different hands?
I didn't fucking know that about Panda Baba.
My joke is that like one of the funny but dumb things about.
Wait, hold on. What species were they? I
forgot.
He was. Who was he with? Was he with the doctor guy?
Dr. Evazan, yeah.
Yeah. The weird fucking.
I remember it because they were always when Jeff and John were talking about them. They always talked about them as a pair. So it's Dr. Evazan. Hold on. Yeah, Evazan.
Cornelius Evazan? Was his first name Cornelius? I feel like it was Cornelius.
Probably. Yeah, Cornelius Evazan.
Yeah, Cornelius Evazan.
Let's see here. Aqualish.
Aqualish, that's right.
Yeah.
Fucking Aqualish.
No, my recurring joke is that it's very. The reason why I think Star Wars in particular has so many has like issues. Well, like when something feels dumb in Star Wars, why people are so invested. It's not just that because Star Wars has been around a while and it has a lot of lore and you get invested into it, but it's also that like when someone says something stupid in Star Wars, that is like becomes sort of inexorably canon until someone with an even bigger personality like says that it isn't.
Right.
So like if you have like for some reason like you can never admit that something was an oversight or a mistake in Star Wars. Like if someone left like a Starbucks cup like in Game of Thrones, they would just someone on the wiki or like a book writer later on would be like, actually, there is a brand that looks just like Starbucks in Star Wars, and this is canon now.
Yeah, it'd be really dumb. Sorry, but them's the breaks. Couldn't you just take a cold shower or something?
Good idea. I need a really high flow shower head though, because it needs to be like a waterfall of water.
Right. So much for rushing spring waters. Next in the next in.
Oh, I want to read the TV.
All right. I apparently
Next
can't talk anymore.
A large, unidentified animal was sighted at Gourd Lake. The town is buzzing with excitement. Locals are calling it Gordy, in a tip of the hat to Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster.
You sound like one of those TV narrator guys from like a Fairly Odd
narrator.
Oh, I was thinking like from like a Fairly Odd Parents TV show. Like when they're watching a show in Fairly Odd Parents and they're like,
whenever I do like a TV reporter, instead of doing like a normal one, I like your very like flat modern one. I usually do it with like the transatlantic accent.
Yeah.
So you'll sound like the guy from newscaster from Avatar: The Last Airbender, or the narrator guy who does the narration in Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
I think they're the same guy, but that's like the same attitude.
That was one thing I actually really appreciated. Sorry, one thing that I actually really appreciated about Legend of Korra was the story recaps being done in the style of just a transatlantic news reporter guy.
Yeah. That Kaiser is on the march.
Yeah.
It's Justin, though its namesake, Nessie, proved to be a hoax. It would be, imagine if the lore, if the Phoenix Wright lore was just like, oh yeah, Nessie was like real and discovered very quickly.
Yeah, right.
It's just Nessie's out there, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Locals are confident their Gordy is the real deal.
It sounds like a throwaway gag that you'd see in like Gravity Falls. Like, yeah, we discovered Nessie. Yeah, they're real. Don't worry about it.
Well, that's the thing that you mentioned in the background, along with that you've had to fight Dracula or something.
Yeah.
Like the librarians bit.
I still have not seen that show. Is that show live action or animated?
Live action, although I feel like it would actually work really well if it were animated. Also, there's an episode, you know how I had that big list of like standard episode plots? Where it's like, episode where the characters switch bodies, episode where characters switch genders, episode where everyone's, a bottle episode where all the characters are like stuck in a lodge or something and have to like talk to each other. That sort of thing.
Yeah. Anytime I think about bottle episodes, I think of that iconic moment in Community where Jeff Winger goes, fuck it, I'm doing a bottle episode.
You know, they're like, I bet Abed did this because it would be one of those tropes from the shows he likes, and he's like, it wouldn't be me because I hate bottle episodes.
It wouldn't be me because I hate bottle episodes.
But here's the thing: is that like the librarians had managed to avoid most of the ones. Like, I still think they had Body Snatchers episode. That's another on the list. And they had a Christmas episode, because of course they do. But the one that I wasn't expecting was they had a video game episode, but like, you know how most shows, even in the last like 10 years or whatever, like their video game episode where like characters are in a video game or trying to beat a video game, like are based on video games from like the 80s or older.
Yeah, and they're still based on video games from like the 80s or
like,
older, even though we've had video games for like up to our current year now, being 2023, and we have so much cooler shit that we can have, like in episodes like that.
Well, without spoiling it or anything, one of the characters is just like, wait a minute, I figured it out. We're in a video game. And he's like, on the rails or like an open world? Well, we're stuck in this building, so I would say on the rails. And it's like, oh, wait a minute, I just figured it out. If any of you guys die, it keeps going, but if I die, it resets. That means it's an escort mission, and the other character's just like, sorry, man. And
dude, like, that's amazing.
Like, I understand. That's really funny, but also it was coming from a character who's normally like really competent in a fight. So like, I'm like, no, the problem with escort missions is that the NPCs don't survive. Whereas like, you guys are like really good at avoiding getting caught.
Yeah, no, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Line.
You'll stay here, and I'll do it. Okay,
yeah. Read your line.
Oh, I read this. But yeah, The Librarians,
I
recommend it. I think I'm somewhere in the 3rd season, and it basically got me back into the sort of modern magic / hidden world style like genre. I thought that was fun, which is also why I started watching Good Omens.
Is that on the Plex?
Yes it is.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, for future reference, anytime I talk about a show, just assume it's on the Plex.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, hold on, I gotta wire in the cable jacks between like Netflix and the server or whatever. And, 'cause that's what Plex is for, ostensibly, is that you're supposed to be able to collect all of your services on one site. But you know, mostly it's I know someone else who knows how to actually like operate it.
Right.
I don't really use the other side so much. All right.
Boring. Can't they show real news for a change? What the fuck do you mean by that? Are you looking for like mass gun shootings report? Like, oh, a school was shot up today. Oh, that's crazy news. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, Phoenix?
I was gonna say, well, one, this is not Japan. This is San Francisco, so it's probably unlikely. But like, two, this is also Phoenix Wright. So if anything, it would be like something happened. There was what people thought was a samurai battle were actually 2 cosplayers who got into a fight with remarkably actually sharp swords.
Phoenix Wright feels like the kind of universe where like superheroes and supervillains would exist in the background.
Are you saying... Hold on, are you saying... Phoenix, in a Marvel and Capcom thing, Phoenix Wright working with She-Hulk as a metahuman lawyer.
Dude, and also Daredevil's there, the fucking dream team.
And also I would love, especially if you got to see like Phoenix play off of Daredevil, where like Daredevil is used to being the straight man, and so but Phoenix is like very, what we've seen so far, he's quite milquetoast. So I'm just imagining like it just starts to make Daredevil look more stspicy.
Phoenix is the straightest man. He just keeps slamming the table, and Daredevil has to like like he can't keep up with how straight of a man he is.
Just editor put in Phoenix Wright slapping the table and and shaking his head saying, "I know what sex is," and then he points, "I read it in a book."
I feel like Phoenix would slam a table and Daredevil would like laugh for some reason. He would just chuckle at how weirdly dramatic it is for this guy to like hit his table every time he gets ready to make a point.
He also has to flinch whenever he hits the table, as if he doesn't know that he's about to hit the table.
Oh yeah. He has to act surprised. Oh god.
I feel like that's the main thing. Like, when it comes to like characters who have to hide their secret identity, like I feel like Daredevil has a really tricky one, just because like he has to, like, unless he's willing to like tank damage by like running into stuff or whatever, it's just gonna be tricky to like make sure that people think that you're actually blind. So you have to just ignore your inputs.
Yeah, that's one thing
Hold on, wait a minute. Are you pretending to be a blind guy? Because that's really offensive. No, actually, I am blind. It's I got this whole extra sense thing, but hold on. That was beside the point.
That was like a whole fucking episode. I think that was like 2 episodes at least, like in the Netflix show of them being like, "Are you actually blind? I don't believe you're actually blind."
It's like it's like a short few lines, but I had that like moment where I'm
really, like, I feel like I remember it being longer than that.
Well, it was one of those like Jessica Gao moments where you're like, oh, this is a question that a character in universe would ask. Be like, hey, wait a minute, are you like, you're a crime fighter? Are you not really blind? That's kind of messed up. And it's like, but the actual story is so much weirder. Where it's like, actually, I was blinded by like a weird chemical that also basically gave me both sonar and radar. Just don't worry about it.
Look, man, I have weird mutations. Don't worry about it. Move on.
Yeah, I don't know how much you know, but like I remember reading in the comic, like he's got sonar and radar. They don't outright mention that it's radar too often, but like as opposed to like in the what's the word? The movie with what's his name? The old movie.
The Ben Affleck one?
Yeah, that's it. Ben Affleck, Daredevil. It was pretty much just all sonar, and that was pretty cool. But like, I remember the first time reading a comic, it was like talking about all the senses, and he's like, oh yeah, and I also have radar, and I like that. Even though he has brain radar, even that has issues where, like, I think he ran into Punisher once, where Punisher is like, oh, this guy has radar, I have an idea, and he uses a grenade launcher with a grenade full of, like, radar-baffling, like, chaff, like a bunch of, like, metal strips, so it explodes, which, like, deafens him, and a bunch of this stuff goes in the air, which baffles all these like little metal bits go into the air, which messes up his radar. He's like, ha, I got you.
Yeah, that makes sense. Line.
Nick? Question mark?
Question mark?
Air pressure's kind of low with that. Hey! This is not, by the way, for those at home, this is not me being psychic moment by knowing the tropes. I'm pretty sure I'm just subconsciously remembering the beats from when we played this before.
Yeah, probably.
I was honestly hoping that she'd be like, oh, I need to use a waterfall to like train.
Yeah. You want more pressure, huh?
There's that weird valve somewhere in the stairwell. For those with a valve in their stairwell, please don't mess with the valve in your stairwell.
What does it do?
I forgot. I'm really sorry that I know, like, not the phrase I don't know, the phrase I forgot, because I swear, I saw something like that where it was I think it's connected to either the water or ventilation systems, where those stairways aren't just for like accessibility, they're for fire emergencies, which is why stairways tend to be made with like metal doors, but they have the crash bars, so if you bump into them from the inside, you can go into the stairwell. And they tend to be like bricks or other fireproof materials. It's not just an escape from a fire where you can go down the stairs, it's also has a series of vents that are placed in them. And the point is that as well as you know, because you played Eternal Threads, it's not necessarily the fire that'll kill you, it's just the carbon monoxide. It's the fire eats up all the oxygen and then gives out a bunch of toxic gas. And to get rid of that, you need a really strong ventilation system where when the fire system is triggered, it uses the sprinklers, but also it basically blasts a bunch of air through the stairway.
Yeah.
And I forget if it's like through I don't think it goes through the building. I think it goes through the stairway where you always have fresh air in the stairway. It's positive pressure, which means it keeps the smoky air out by putting fresh air in.
Huh. Neat.
But yeah, there's probably like a fine or something. So it's just don't do that.
Yeah, probably.
Editor, put in that movie with the guy with the big suitcases that goes to Volcano Island, who's just like, I always wondered what that valve did. Like, he quits his job and he like rotates it and it doesn't do anything and he just leaves.
Why don't you go down to the fire department and have them spray you with a hose?
Great idea.
That's a terrible idea!
Terrible idea! You get severely injured.
Apparently, Fablet is no aid in detecting sarcasm.
We need a ghost that tells you if you're sarcastic or not.
Maya just... Hold on, is it May or Maya? I can never remember. Her dad...
That's Maya, her older sister was Mia.
Yeah, Mia. Mia just, like, materializes, like...
Yeah.
It is like she just materializes for a second just to be like, Maya, that's a stupid idea. He was being sarcastic.
Oh, I read this and I heard the Courage the Cowardly Dog voice in my head, and then I realized that that's also a variation.
Oh yeah, that's another one. Did you read
We
that?
interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin. Strange things have happened in Gourd Lake. Strange occurrences continue at Gourd Lake. This time, it's murder.
But when strange things happen in nowhere, it's up to Phoenix to find out who the...
Let me tell you about these strange things that are happening to me.
Yeah!
I had power, I was respected, but not anymore.
Not anymore, now I'm a laughingstock.
Toy Story song?
What's that?
The song from Toy Story, where all the toys are like, oh, Buzz is super cool, and it's like a Buzz is super cool montage. Woody's like...
Yeah, no, I guess I forgot that.
Let me tell you about some strange...
Wait, which toy? Oh, yeah, Strange Things. Strange Things! I never learned that song, but I always wanted to.
I only knew a few of the...
What's that?
I only knew a few of the lyrics, so I was just going with the bits I remember.
Oh, yeah. Gourd Lake.
Oh, and this is related, before I forget. Do you know how over the years there's been a zillion, like, investigations at Loch Ness to find the Loch Ness Monster?
Yeah.
Well, one of my favorite ones was relatively recently, and it was a great example of, like, hey, what if we used hype around cryptid, but then we used it to like develop a technology that's actually really useful for like zoologists, and basically it's this it's like a DNA test where you take a swab out of in this case out of the loch and like scan it, and it'll tell you basically what types of animals are like in that water.
Right.
I don't know the specifics or how wide of an area, but they checked it, and apparently there's an as yet unidentified creature in the lake, but it's some kind of eel. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we found it. We found, like, it's not Nessie, but it sure is something. Like, there's just an eel there. This is some kind of eel that lives in the lake.
Is it like a giant eel?
We don't know how big of an eel it is, but it explains like the numerous other sightings where people would see like a weird Slytherin thing slinking through the water or poking its head out.
Huh.
And that explains a lot. But on top of all of that, because if I recall correctly, like eels are pretty good at just avoiding humans. So like, if I recall correctly, I think it was like moray eels in particular. Like scientists still haven't observed them mating. Like we know they do and that they reproduce, but like they just get nervous in captivity. So we've never been able to sneak up on them and actually see it.
Huh.
Yeah, so we don't know what their like mating rituals or whatever are. And I was thinking about that, and it's like, oh, well, eels are pretty good at hiding from humans and stuff. Like, we could just have like an unidentified eel species, and I really hope that it gets like a cool name when it's discovered.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Gourd Lake again?
The body of a man was found in the lake early this morning. A suspect was apprehended. Sources inside the police department revealed that the suspect's name is Miles Edgeworth, age 24. Edgeworth was an up-and-coming prosecutor. Feel free to gasp. Edgeworth was an up-and-coming prosecutor, known for his skills and connections. He was guaranteed a long and rewarding career. Has he thrown it all away?
Edgeworth? What's going on? Edgeworth would never do something like...
Unless he was killing a vampire, maybe.
Yeah, unless he was killing a vampire. He could have been killing a vampire.
Nick?
Yikes! Maya!
Fireman yelled at me when I called him.
Wait, she
I've always wanted to go to a firehouse with the firefighters there and shout theater and then see if any of them get the joke.
Oh man, that'd be so funny. We've got bigger things to worry about than that. They've arrested Edgeworth.
Love this guy. He just got arrested.
Oh no.
Chicken nugget episode thing. What? You mean the prosecutor?
Yeah, he's a suspect in a murder. Wait, what was that from?
I think it was an episode of Chicken Nugget. Like, I think it's spelled Chikin. And then Nugget is like Nuggit. It was like this animated series of little animated shorts. They're on YouTube and TikTok. And it started with a cute little yellow dog and cheeseburger, who is a cat with a little pointy thing with the cheeseburger on it. And they slowly increase the cast to be just more names of foods.
As you do. Oh hey,
yeah.
Zabzorobath says, turn for more stairs. That was probably in reference to something earlier, but I don't know what.
The valve, Lujack, we figured out what the valve in the stairs.
Ah!
Dude, that would be such like a neat thing to be in like an SCP style game, or like a wizard's lair or something, where it's like, oh, how do you get to the secret area, and you turn the valve and it extends the stairs downward by one level, like it just stretches the stairs out.
It's just a secret area. You go down, discover that your dad's Batman. Like, what the fuck?
You can't be Batman. This is obviously... Yeah, but Batman wouldn't use magic. Dang it, you're right.
I love that moment. Also, Zap confirms that yes, they were talking about the valves. But no, I love that moment in Batman Beyond where like they're dealing with some magic shenanigans, and Terry's talking to like Bruce over the microphone, and Bruce is like being doubtful about the whole thing. He's like, man, I don't know about all this. Like, I don't know I don't know about any of this. And Terry says something
Terry
about like, yeah, because Terry's like, you don't believe in magic, but Batman being Batman in like 70 at this point, having done shit with the Justice League, is like, oh no, magic is real. No, magic is absolutely real, but like this feels like some high school bullshit.
I do like that, where like the more integrated he is with the setting. Like, dude, that's what I would love to see in a Batman movie. Like, if you really want, if the executives are so set on old Batman, then let's have old Batman, Terry McGinnis, Batman Beyond, but have it that like all the stuff that Batman says, it always makes you think, oh yeah, that is something he would know at this point. Or it's just like, yeah, but magic's real. I've run into, bro. I've fought Dracula.
Yeah, I love the idea of like 70-year-old Bruce meeting some like Captain America guy, but like Captain America from the first Avengers movie, where he is like, "There's only one God, ma'am," and he's just like, "Bro, I'm like friends with at least 5 gods, and the other ones have like some kind of understanding with me, like." I've hung out with deities.
No, and then it's just
wow. Well, there's a god on our team. His name is Orion. You might have heard of him. They named a constellation after him.
Then it's Captain America, but it's like that Kronk meme where he's got the card, except it's him all smug with the diagram, and it's like the Rock of Eternity, all of these gods on like the council, and then there's like a one above all situation, and it's like, well, that's the one I recognize. Dang it! You're technically not wrong. You turned polytheism into monotheism by having a more stringent definition of what a god is.
They made it more of like a Kai situation from fucking Dragon Ball Z, where it's like you got these Kais, and then you got like the Supreme Kai, and then you got like the Grand Supreme Kai or whatever, and he's kind of like the big boss of everything. Like, okay.
If he's got a boss, how supreme can he be?
And then fucking Dragon Ball Super comes in and is like, oh, there's this weird Zeno-Kai who's like a child and in charge of the universe. And now there's 2 of them because of weird timeline travel bullshit.
I'm reincarnated as a cool teenager.
Oh, I love Naruto. He's my favorite duelist from Pokemon Trainer.
Oh, my head. I love those like dumb memes where you just mashed everything together.
Yeah, he's a suspect.
Use the Force, Harry.
No, use the Schwartz.
All right. Oh wait, that's your. No, your next line.
That's my line. Yeah, he's a suspect in a murder.
What? I'm so surprised my mouth became an egg.
Yeah, what is that?
Boom. How? Why?
I don't know.
Go find out, Nick.
Yes, let's do that.
That robot reading voice into the Heavy is Dead meme, so it's just Miles Edgeworth. He's dead!
He's dead!
Is dead? Miles Edgeworth is dead!
Well, what should we do? What should we do?
What do you mean? Investigate. We're basically detectives at this point.
Yeah, like we're doing Gumshoe's job for him right now.
Would you talk to Mr. Edgeworth and check out the crime scene?
You're right. We need more information. Save aimlessness and confusion for later.
We're gonna have to go extra long because we
yeah.
a bit.
Yeah, we rambled a bit. Well, got any good ideas?
Not really. My best thinking when I'm standing underneath the waterfall.
Of course it is. Oh, I wanted to mention earlier, Taylor and I watched Scott Pilgrim together, right? And the 2 things that I remember most from that experience was 1, Taylor's reaction to Scott Pilgrim jumping out of the window, and 2, Taylor's...
Oh, it's such a good
It's
scene.
such a great gag! And 2, Taylor's reaction to seeing, like, Knives' face just have like the weird shocked
It turned
face
into
drawn
a
over it.
O,
And you just
like
like
vertically.
stood, you like paused the movie, stood up, and just left. Like I'm out of here.
For dramatic effect.
Oh yeah, no.
And I am glad Knives eventually did get knives.
Yeah, me too. It's fitting. No, I fucking love the window gag though, cause like he goes right as the door.
Behind the door one way.
Dodges behind the door one way, then crashes through the window, goes back for his jacket, and then you see him like leaving behind Knives.
Yeah, it's a quadruple joke.
It's so
he dodges behind the door, he jumps through the window, immediately goes back to get his jacket like no big deal, and then you see then it's the shot what's the shot opposite shot where you see Knives behind her, you see him like walking away.
Yeah, just walking super fast, like with a hustle.
And the dive is so acrobatic. I figured that had to be like a stunt where they had like a stunt guy and a springboard and like and one of those like sugar glass things and like a whole pad and stuff. But like it's so physical.
It's so just, good.
Oh man, yeah, it's sort of the sort of thing that like I just realized something. If you were gonna adapt something like if you're gonna adapt an anime to like a TV show or something, you should use the Scott Pilgrim method, where like you have bits that are like animated or special effects, but have it that a bunch of some of the stunts are actual like stunts, where you have a stunt person like doing something comedic that is physically possible, but just completely unexpected.
Yeah. Man, I can't believe that Captain America and Captain Marvel were both in Scott Pilgrim.
Do you think the stunt guys played themselves?
I hope so. That would make it so much funnier.
That would be really funny if because I don't think they have many lines, so theoretically you could have the stunt guys.
Yeah, I think there's like one stunt guy. Yeah, I think there's like one stunt guy where he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna get a coffee. You guys want anything?" No, I'm good. And that's like the only time I think any of them talked.
No, it's the main guy. It's Captain America who goes to get the coffee, but the rest of them are fighting Scott Pilgrim. But it does make me wonder, like.
Yeah, but he like asks if they want anything, and one of them goes, "No, I'm good."
Oh yeah. Sorry for interrupting. But oh man, it was. It's funny because if you had asked a younger me like about Scott Pilgrim, I'd be like, no, I'm not going to watch a Michael Cera movie. But because there was a time where Michael Cera was in everything, and it always felt like it was the same movie.
Right.
But Scott Pilgrim was a neat adaptation. I would say it was theoretically it's one of the only comic. Maybe not comic. One of the only like manga adjacent comic like adaptations that like are good.
Yeah, man, I read the colored version of Scott Pilgrim, and there's that moment where Ramona walks in with like a new hair color, and Scott's like, "Is that your natural hair color?" And she's like, "No, wait, I don't know, maybe." And then there's just like editor's note that's like, "This joke was funnier in black." Yeah, this joke was funnier when the comic was in black and white.
That's the kind of joke that you can make if you're making like a manga.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, your narration here?
December 25, Gold Lake Park entrance.
This is where it happened?
Yeah, Gold Lake is in the middle of this park.
You can see some police walking around in there.
Questioning people, probably.
Hey, isn't that Detective Gumshoe over there? It's like audience cheering sound effects.
There's like applause. And like that like whistle.
Yeah, it's like when the Fonz shows up.
Yeah.
Freaking Obi-Wan Kenobi? Sorry, I had that. that reference is not going to make any sense except to like one person who saw that TikTok.
I have not seen that TikTok.
Someone had like a friend who did a really good Pinkie Pie voice from My Little Pony, and so she just like sent her a bunch of lines that she wanted read. When I was just like, is that freaking Obi-Wan Kenobi? Just like most of it was just stuff with cursing in it, which I thought was also pretty amusing.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
I don't know if it's still on YouTube, but there was like a leak over at Hasbro where they had the what was it, the uncut sound files, and it was like what's the word? It was like an hour long, and someone made like a super cut where it's just where it's just MLP characters cursing.
Nice.
And yeah, according to legend, there is a reel of Tom Kenny doing the voice of SpongeBob like cursing, but also according to the same legend, it's like in a vault that Nickelodeon will never see the light of day.
Damn.
Oh, sorry, I'm zoomed that voice of Gunshot.
Yeah.
Well, pal, there's enough of us here. There's enough. How am I gonna read it? There's enough of us here. Anyone found anything? Sorry, sir. Nothing. Idiot! The trial's tomorrow! We need clues on the double! But, sir... there weren't any clues. That's why we arrested that attorney, Mr. Edgeworth. It's clear, sir. He's the only one... Shut up! Just you try saying that again. I'll make you sorry if you do.
Gumshoe's out here ready to throw hands.
So just get out of my face, pal. Yes, sir.
I'll punch you. I'll punch you good.
I decided that the police force would just sound like Muppets.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Jim Henson creations in the background.
Sorry, sir, there weren't any clues. That's why we arrested.
Gotta be a little bit nasally.
That's why we arrested the attorney. Yeah.
Detective Gumshoe's kind of scary today. Recruits. Hey.
What the fuck?
Eek. There's the music. Hey, you're that hairy guy, Harry Butts.
No, he's my friend, and his
Larry
name
Butts,
is...
and that wasn't me, that was the other guy.
That was Larry, that's Larry, he's my friend, and he's not me. Right! Phoenix Wright! Will he ever learn my name?
And just what are you doing here, pal? Investigating?
Huh? Well, yes, I suppose.
Well, I'm here to help. Ask me anything you want. Oh, okay, that was easy.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought that was going a completely different direction.
You just hear him, like, shout, like, we don't have any...
Yeah! That's true.
It's just that the set manager guy from Sing 2. It's just like, yeah, he's telling me he doesn't have any ideas and we need to pause for a couple days. He's looking at me with a combination of panic and shame.
I forgot that part!
And I think the thing that brings it all together is that he's got this, like, bandana on his neck, which implies that, like, his crew is Union. So, like, it makes so much more sense of why they're so chill about it, because it's just like, oh yeah, we'll work on this now or we'll work on this later, but, like, we're gonna get paid, so, like...
Yeah.
If it pauses now, we're still gonna get the money.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Alright. Bring it! He seems different than usual. I wonder what's up. Mr. Edgeworth hasn't actually asked us to defend him yet. Yeah, well, it's you and the other, like, 2 lawyers.
Yeah, who the fuck else? Who the fuck else you think is gonna do it in this weird Japanese-American town? You see any other spiky-haired protagonists around here?
Every country is America. America.
America. In America. It's just Bandit Keith and, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged.
Yeah, that was my thing.
Yeah.
Everything. Every country in the world is America.
Every country in the world is America.
I'm just gonna say, huh? Oh, you don't say.
I mean, we're gonna. Like, don't even worry about it, but...
Don't even worry about it.
Fuck. Alright, let's talk to Gumshoe. What happened? Detective Gumshoe? Do you know what happened here?
Huh? You don't know, pal?
Nah.
Got a little info on the TV, but that was about it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Mr. Head in the fluffy pink clouds lawyer.
Clouds are white, you fool. Head in the... Huh?
You're right, he said head in the huh. Never mind, I'll tell you. I have to tell you quick, because one of the co-hosts really has to pee.
Oh no!
It happened last night, around 15 minutes after midnight. But technically it happened today.
Right.
If you're some kind of horologist.
Homologist.
There was a boat out on Gourd Lake. That boat with 2 men. One of those men shot the other with a pistol. It looked kind of like if you put weird little vents and a giant barrel on like some kind of World War I gun.
Yeah, it's pretty nutty looking.
Or like late World War I don't know. And oh, sorry. And the shooter was Mr. Edgeworth? A cop who arrived on the scene arrested him. How did they get there so fast? They got a series of pneumatic tubes.
Pneumatic tube? Well, like in
you
Futurama?
know, like those things at the bank?
Oh, see, I was thinking like in Futurama, how they just travel in tubes.
Yes, it's the same thing.
Yeah. You know, okay, hold on. I just realized, you know, I feel like we don't see that used a lot, because I feel like anytime there's like long distance travel happening, it's usually in the ship, right? So like, how often do we actually see the tubes in that show getting used?
We see it in the intro, and we see it in like a lot of background shots, and I guess it's something that you can use to get around town, but like, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure characters only use tubes if they're gonna do a gag with it. Yeah. Like if a tube breaks and then like it just launches you into a different set.
Yeah. That's the thing that would happen.
Oh, well, there was a witness. Oh, our commenter said episode 1. I don't know when they said that though.
Oh yeah, episode 1.
When the report came in, we raced to the lake.
I think it was
Sometimes I like going down to the lake to sing songs about lakes to the lake.
As you do. I think it was in reference to the Futurama tubes.
That makes sense.
That's what I'm guessing. Witness. Did you say you had to pee?
Yes!
Go pee.
We either wrap this up quickly or wrap it up here.
We can wrap it up here.
All right.
But first,
we're figuring out what happened as a note to remind myself when I watch the last bit of this episode next time. The episode with the Gordy Lake and takes place on Christmas.
Yes. Cool. I wanted to talk about One Piece real quick before we actually wrap up.
There's no time for that.
Fine.
So, thank you so much for joining us. I've been Taylor.
I've been Lou Jack.
We're the Peopleorians, and I'm reminding you to take care.
Stay awesome.
Have a beautiful day.
Go watch Primal, and also drink water.
Everyone who started listening when you first did that probably finished Primal, and they need you to recommend a different show now. No, go watch the first season of Good Omens.
Oh, yeah, fuck, what have I seen recently that's really good? You know what, Symbionic Titan, go watch Symbionic Titan.
Alright, bye!
Bye!